Hey friends, Chris here with Live Roots Ranch. Whew, it is a hot one today. Anyways, I wanted to share today about garlic scapes, harvesting them, and a little bit of how to prepare them, and of course what they are. So let's head over to the garlic patch and I will show you garlic scapes. Okay, so if it's June and you're growing garlic, specifically hardneck garlic, that means garlic scapes. Now, what are garlic scapes? Amazing. I really love garlic scapes. I'll show you closer in just a second and get more into detail, but basically, this is my garlic plant right here, and this little curly Q thing right here that I can stick it up a little bit. I don't know if you can see it. Put it in front of me. That is what is a garlic scape. And basically, what that is it's gonna turn into the flower. So the flower or the plant can reproduce, and it'll have like little seeds or whatever. And that's interesting because usually gardeners, farmers, and everyone basically propagates garlic by using the cloves and dividing them and replanting them. That's how I've done it. Odds are that's how you've done it as well. But if you have a little bit more time, you can actually let it go to flower, keep the seeds. I think they have a different name, but effectively the seeds, and then you can plant those and have garlic. But I should note also, I had mentioned hardneck garlic. So there's two different kinds of garlics. There's hardneck and softneck. Hardneck produces a scape, softneck does not. So hardneck, the way it is you've got like the stem coming out of the middle, right? And then you've got a single row of generally larger cloves that go around the garlic. And that's hardneck, and that will produce a scape. Softneck is generally what you see more in the grocery store, and that's where it doesn't have that hard stem in the middle. What it has is it's multi-layered, kind of like shark teeth, and they're a little bit smaller, the cloves are. But since the necks are soft or soft-ish, not as hard as the hard neck, of course, you can like braid them. You might see those in specialty boutiques and stuff like that. And there are different, depending on where you're at in your climate, you might prefer to grow one over the other. I grow hardneck. I think a lot of people grow hardneck. And what's exciting is, again, the scapes. That's why we're here, right? So that's gonna grow to be the flower. So a quick note, when you go to harvest your garlic scapes, which is generally, this spring has been really crazy, but generally it's about early mid-June or so. I actually have a couple other garlic beds. This bed is a test bed where I planted them closer to kind of see how that would affect yield, and they're growing much slower than my other plots. But the first plot I harvested the garlic scapes 2 weeks ago, and last week I harvested the rest of the other plot. And so I meant to get a video, but you know how life is. Everything's so busy right now with the garden and life and summer and anywho. So, but I was on a Pacific Northwest gardening group, and I was seeing a lot of people had talked about that they, had questions about harvesting garlic scapes, and other people were saying that their scapes hadn't curved yet. And I'll explain that in a second. And so I realized, I guess the video might still be viable, so here we are. So when you think of garlic scape curving, what that means is when you have your plant that's been big and bushy for, well, I guess bushy is the incorrect word, but flanked out, whatever. And then all of a sudden you'll notice something that's a little circular, kind of growing out slowly, but actually pretty fast. And so it'll come out straight at first, but then it'll start to curve. My arm doesn't work that way. But for me personally, I wait till the second curve. So when it curves down and then kind of curves around, and I'll give you a better view of that. Technically, you can harvest your garlic scape at any point. You can harvest it when it's just 2 inches long, or when it's just curled, and even when it's in a full-blown flower. Though the longer you wait, it might get a little more woody. But let's get to harvesting garlic scapes. So let me cut one real quick and I'll explain a couple things. So this is a garlic scape. So it was sitting on the plant like this. So this is my first curve here. This is my second curve. And it would, it looks just like that. This part here, that looks like it would become a flower, will become the flower. And this is the garlic scape. I wish you could smell it. But one thing to note is that with garlic shoot, where was I going with this? Garlic scapes curving. Oh, I remember. I'm sorry. It's been such a crazy day and it's hot. With garlic scapes, shoot, I just lost my train of thought again. Oh, there's two methods of collecting them. The first one is you can cut it, which is what I just did. And basically, what you would do, like use this other one as an example, is see, this is where where the scape starts right here. And then these are the leaves of the garlic. And so what I want to do is cut as close to the leaf as possible without actually cutting the leaf. So I'm going to gently snug down real close and just give it a little chop. And here's another one. So I've got two, and I've got a lot more, obviously. But another thing that another way to harvest them is to pull them until they snap. Now I know that the snap is a really gratifying sound because it's not like a snap, it's like a pop, like boop. And sometimes when you get good pressure on it and you kind of lift it up, and sometimes it breaks off like at the top where you would have cut it, but a lot of times it breaks off lower in the plant where you get more scape. But you obviously will need to choose which way you prefer or do half and half. But here in the Pacific Northwest, we get a lot of rain, and though generally late June and early July isn't too bad, moisture related problems like rot or mold, mildew, whatever, are always an issue in the gardens. And so therefore, my personal preference is to just cut at the top, and that way I know that water can't be held inside of that stem, because the scape actually runs all the way down to the bulb. And if some places specialize in growing garlic, sorry, my timer went off for my water, and so it cut me off mid-video. Anyways, some places actually grow garlic just for the scapes, and so what they'll do is actually cut just above the bulb, which is the edible part, of course, and take the whole, like inside the entire shaft and then the curly bit, and use that for garlic scapes. So it's kind of however you're wanting to enjoy your garlic scapes. But personally, my personal preference is just to cut them at the top. And if you're cutting garlic scapes, first of all, it's really easy to miss some of them. But you want to check back like every week or so, because they do continue growing a little bit, or there's some that maybe haven't put out their garlic scapes yet because maybe they're in the middle of the patch and they get less sun or whatever. But nonetheless, garlic scapes are definitely rewarding. If you are growing hardneck garlic, you have to harvest your garlic scapes because they are amazing. I really love them. Now you might be thinking, Christy, what am I gonna do with my garlic scapes? Send them to me. No, I'm kidding. Garlic scapes so the flavor is like a delicate, gentle, mild, like garlicky flavor. It's in the allium family. But the garlic is so delicious. And the scapes are just like that, but in a little bit of a subtle version. So I think the most popular way is to cut them up and saute them in some butter and some herbs, and you can put that with anything, a meat, vegetables, potatoes, any kind of base, anything like that. Throw them into stews. You can also dehydrate them and preserve them and make like a powder, what's it called? A seasoning. What a good thing is to put them into pesto. Basically any way that you would use like garlic or onions or anything like that, you can use garlic scapes. So if you're growing garlic and they have made at least one turn, or I guess whenever you want to harvest them, enjoy them. They're delicious. Let me know how you prepare them. And thanks for watching. Happy gardening. Bye.